In the darkest nights, we find our light. Battered souls, but we won't lose sight. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, never alone. Through every trial, we carry on. Surviving together, we stand tall. United forever. Strength and courage will overcome. Surviving together, victorious. And never, never, never alone. Hand in hand, we'll face the unknown.
We see you, we hear you, and we believe you. Hi everyone, how you doing tonight? Welcome to Surviving Together, safe place for sexual assault and other trauma survivors to come together, connect, heal, learn something on this journey that we're on, and anybody else who just wants to learn about trauma, see if you've got trauma. That's what we're here for, to educate. And boy, do I have some news for you in regards to that. Wow, has it been an interesting past couple of days. If I look a little peaked, it's because I've been battling a headache all day since I woke up this morning. We're okay right now. It's not coming back, I don't think so. We'll just we'll push forward and let's have a great show. So let's see who we're here's first. Misha, welcome. Awakened by the Looking Glass. Let's see what you have to say. I know, I'm so excited. 300 subscribers, guys. We just hit 300 subscribers today. I can't thank all of you enough for supporting this channel, supporting each other. It's just been absolutely amazing. Sweet Tea, welcome. First time checking out the channel because she saw my name in a few other channels that we both watch together. And so it's fabulous that you're joining us. We have 2,500 watch hours, 2,500 watch hours and 300 subscribers in 10 months, 10 and a half months. I couldn't be happier, really and truly. Next year, 2025 is our year, and we're going to hit those, marks that we have to, just so that we can be moving forward. And in terms of moving forward, I was contacted out of the blue by somebody I used to work with, and we've connected up on LinkedIn and messaged each other, once. She's going to check the channel out. She's a fellow attorney, and just, pass it along. If it interests her, if she feels anybody could value from it, just to let everybody know about it. And I think some of you know I used to volunteer as a sexual assault advocate. So particularly if anyone called the hotline and needed to talk to somebody, I'd be there. Or if somebody needed to have a forensic nurse exam, there was an assault and they needed to be examined, I would be there with them, explaining what was going on, helping them, and also helping them with aftercare, making sure they had a safe place to go, all of that. Well, the lady who coordinated all of that for our YWCA here has moved on to a different organization that covers a couple different counties, doing something fairly similar, but looks like a little bit of a step up for her. But I messaged her as well, just because I happened to see her name cross the LinkedIn feed, hey, you might know these people type of thing. And she messaged me back today, and she was excited to check out the channel. She told me everything that they were doing with sexual assault and domestic violence survivors. And it's so excited. Their goal is to end violence through education. Wow, right? Wow. And so I'm so excited to catch up with her and speak with her. And yeah, things are, they're kind of moving in the right direction. And I'm okay with it at the pace that it's going. Um, I don't know what I'd do if we woke up tomorrow and I had 2,000 subscribers. It would just, and people were actually in the chat, 100, 200 people. It'd just be so different to what I'm used to. I'm not sure that we'd be able to, accommodate everybody as easily. But with this kind of growth, it's going great. I'm just excited. Tommy Stiggs, thanks so much. You're a large part in uh, helping to get my name out there and speaking good things to your people. Thindu, you as well on your channel. Thindu has been a wonderful supporter. He was here on Saturday and we talked about trauma and his trauma. And if you didn't get a chance to watch that live, I highly recommend you do, at least the portion where he was on. But please always take care of yourself. Remember, ever triggered, hightail it out of here and take care of yourself first. Always taking care of yourself first. Please, please, please. Let's see who else we have. Kermel, glad you are here. Got somebody across the pond. And Crystal M says she got her unit assignment. Now just sell her trailer and get into the apartment. The beginning of the year, best Christmas gift. Absolutely. Wow. Some of you guys who are newer may not know, Crystal has been waiting for this for a long time. She has been, trying to get a new place and to get a better apartment and place to live. And she's just, been fighting through everything. And I am so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, Crystal. This is wonderful. Absolutely fabulous. Could not be a better Christmas gift. Isn't that wonderful? So do keep us posted when you have like a move-in date and everything. We'll definitely be on this journey along with you. Let's see, who else do we have? I don't want to miss anybody. Body Illusion is here. Hey, Body. Okay, I'm going to try and do this with my thing. Body Illusion. And guys, feel free, throw up your own channels. Throw up anybody who doesn't have a runch, throw up their channel. So if you throw up Sticks, throw up Thindu's. Ned, throw up yours. Body Illusion, throw up yours. But Body let me know today that is Mickey Mouse's birthday. I think I got that right. I knew it was a Mickey Mouse thing. And I told her I would wear my Mickey Mouse pants. I don't think we're going to be able to see this unless I move this down. Let's see. Okay, so here are my Mickey Mouse pants. They're actually Minnie Mouse, I discovered. You can see her eyelashes. So it's actually Minnie Mouse. But I said I would wear those for you, and I did. And guess what, Body? I actually had to do laundry. I had to do laundry to get these clean, to wear them today, which actually was my last load of laundry that I had to do. So thank you. I actually did a load of laundry today. It's exciting, when you get those little things done, especially, with that headache that I had. It was just awful. Deidre Gore, so glad you joined us. Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another friend from across the pond. And there's Thindu. Good to see you. We're right on the verge of him sleeping, so let's get through the good stuff first, right? So he doesn't miss anything. Oh, let's see, who else do we have? Stony Tony, welcome. Welcome, welcome. Mark, it's so good to see you. I haven't seen you in so long. I've been thinking about you with what's been going on in Germany. I was kind of wondering how things were going for you. I haven't been following it. I just get the highlights from headlines, basically. So I'm kind of wondering, how things are going for you. I know you're kind of off the beaten path there, but still. Let's see. Who else? I missed somebody. There we go, Barb. How are you? I'm glad you're joining us tonight, Barb. Crystal Phoenix Rising. welcome to you as well, Crystal Phoenix. As far as I know, everything is good to go for the book publication. Several of our SAS community members, that's what we call ourselves here, part of the SAS community, or SASSY, had a book, an anthology put together, and several people who we know have submitted stories for it. And Crystal Phoenix was in charge. That was her baby, and she was putting it all together. And I do believe it's out the 21st. And when you have an actual link to it, please drop that for me, and we'll make sure to publicize that, so that everybody can get a copy if they want. I know, Misha, you've got a chapter in there. I think Cosmic Christie, some of you may know her. I believe she has a chapter in there. Crystal Phoenix, of course, I think has a chapter in there. Mock, yes, that's what I was talking about the government and the new election thing. Just kind of wondering how things are going for you, if you guys are noticing anything. I mean, the media headlines make it sound like, you guys are on the verge of a civil war. Germany's government implodes, or collapses. And I mean, just the most catastrophic terms that you can use. And I was just kind of wondering, from somebody who's actually there, how is it? How are things being taken over there? I hope you're well. Let's see. So we got 2 great Christmas gifts. Crystal M got one, and I know Deaudre Gore's friends are coming for Christmas, so she's so super excited about that. And I am excited for her. Excuse me. Speaking of the holidays, I actually have my live scheduled between now and the new year. So you can go in and see what we're doing with all of that. Let's see, I wanted to pull up calendar on here. So we have today. I am going to try to take the 6 p.m. Okay, hold that thought for a second. Okay, good. So Mox says it's no big deal. It's been coming for a while. There's an interim government until the new government forms. And that's kind of what I was thinking, because it was just a vote of no confidence. So you're like, okay, well, switch, right? How many times did England do that? And like UK, like 3 times in a year, it seemed like. All right, let's pull up the calendar here. And just want the calendar. Here we go. So we have today, the 18th, and happy question mark holidays is our title. And today is all going to be about finding our jolly during the holidays, when we seem to have lost it, misplaced it. So that is what we're going to talk about today. And then on the 21st, which is Saturday, again, we're live Wednesdays at 6 p.m. Eastern and Saturday at 3 p.m. Eastern, unless something weird happens, which occasionally it has, which I will put a canceled note every Wednesday and Saturday, guys. So Saturday, we are going to talk about Hanukkah. Some of you guys were asking about it. I had no idea really kind of what it was, other than, there's menorah and you light candles and there's gifts. And there's like 8 days. So Hanukkah starts really late this year. It starts the 23rd, which is Monday then. Monday the 23rd, the evening, be sundown there. So we're going to just talk about Hanukkah and tell you a little bit about it. I'll tell you a little bit about how it was growing up for me. things that we do, similarities. We can talk about similarities to other things. Anybody has any questions, whatever, want to know anything, do my best to answer. I was raised a Reform Jew, so I didn't have the Orthodox issues. I didn't do kosher or any of that stuff, but I can speak to it. So that's what we're going to do on Saturday. The next Wednesday is Christmas. That's why today is only a week till Christmas, because people may be getting a picture of what I want to give them this year, because I will admit I have not. I've had a gazillion things, and it has slid by the wayside a little bit. So I am relying on some of the people who are helping me out with this. I think it'll be okay in the end, but it's going to be a little bit of a push this last week. But it'll be good. Marta Fowler, how are you? So good to see you. And you were saying hi to Polly Donuts. Did Polly come in? I did not see, but if he did, that's wonderful. Unless Polly also goes by another name and I missed it. That could be too. That would be interesting. Janet, oh, you're home. I am so, so, so glad you are home. Things have been a little dicey up in Canada where she is, way, way up there. So good that she is home and off the roads. Okay, so it's kind of politics as usual with everything that's going on. Okay, good. I'm whenever you hear something like that, and Germany's economy collapses or whatever, you're like, huh? You really don't think that this is that dire of a situation, but find out for somebody who lives there. You saw Polly? I missed his name, so Polly, saying hi to you. I just couldn't find where you were listed. I am going to try on the 26th, since a week from today is Christmas, and normally I go on Wednesdays at 6 p.m. I'm going to try and keep that 6 p.m. spot. Honestly, it depends on my mom. I'm still trying to nail her down to a time, and actually, I have the schedule here, and I haven't checked. It actually might be full. Yes, Ben took the 6 p.m., but 4 and 5 are empty. 7 and 8 are empty afterwards. We got some morning times, 9 and 10. So I might go on between 9 and 10 and do that 2-hour thing. And then and then go over to my parents. That might be a good way to do this. So stay tuned. On the thumbnail, I will put the link to where you will find it, because the 24th and the 25th, the Village, which a lot of us people who are channel creators who are part of kind of the mental health community, are trying to do a 48-hour live, fill as much spots as possible, so that if you're alone or you can't stand your family anymore and just want something else to do, you'll find somebody on. And I will be putting the link to that right in the very first thing of the description of that thumbnail video. I'll also be putting the times that I'll be going on right on the thumbnail, so that you guys can just look at that and know, okay, this is where I go and this is when I'll be on. And I don't know, Misha, is there a way, because I haven't been on the site, any of my wrenches in here, and Misha, you might be the only one right now. If you could throw up the Village's link, because I need that as well. I know I asked you last time, but I need to put that on the thumbnail. And then, is there any way for people, like we have the schedule, is there any way for just the general public to see that schedule? Is that on like a community post or something on the Village? I think, but I'm not 100% sure. So that's why I want to find out from somebody who has a little bit more experience with that. I'm not sure. Crystal Phoenix, if you're still hanging around, you might know. I know some people are kind of in and out of the chat a little bit. So that's okay. Then on the 28th, we are talking about a little bit of forethought for the new year. Out with the old. So whether this is physical stuff around you, I certainly know we have stuff. I don't want new Christmas presents being brought into this house unless certain stuff gets taken away, or at least dealt with and put away, donated, whatever. You know, Canadians, UK, do you guys have it in the rest of like Europe as well? Boxing Day, the 26th, December 26th. I always thought it was about boxing, Thindu. It's called Boxing Day. I didn't know it was like a day to box up your stuff. And that's why you guys get an extra holiday day, which is really cool. So I definitely want to accomplish that. But not only stuff, but what kind of thoughts can we leave behind in 2024? Are there any situations that we can leave behind? What can we shed from ourselves so that we can start 2025 the best that we possibly can? And then the 1st is a Wednesday. So we are going to say Happy New Year. And not sure exactly what we're going to do right then, but we will definitely be celebrating the new year on the 6th. And then the 4th, that Saturday, is the first Saturday of the month. And I will be in Florida, and we will be having a laugh fest with at least David and I. We'll see if anybody else wants to come and join along, and we'll see what David and I can put together ourselves researching. I've already been collecting some stuff that I think is hilarious, and I think you guys will find. Okay, so yes, this is the Google Docs spreadsheet link that Misha has put up. Now, is that on the Village's website, or YouTube homepage, I should say? That's what I want to know. So can they access the schedule directly from the Village by going in there? Because if they can't, I think that's something that we probably want to do, is put that in. But that's your baby, and I leave that totally up to you. But thanks so much with this, because I am going to, and actually, Misha, could you email that to me real quick at Surviving Together, the Village? I have the Google Docs saved as a thumbnail, or as a tab, but I can't do anything from my live with this link. If you could email that to me, that would be really great. Okay, so you are working on something to have up so that if you go into the Village, you should be able to see something TV Guide style. I love that. So those of you who are old enough to remember TV Guides, we used to get these. They're about the size of Reader's Digest. There's something else. So they were, like paperbacks, about like this big. And that's how you knew what was going to be on the TV programming for the month. I don't know. How long did they go through? Were they a month? They were just 1 month, right? Because I remember that always had to be there to see, what was there, what was coming up, all that kind of stuff. Dave T from Boston, how are you? Welcome. I'm glad that you are here. Perfect. Exactly. Never going things alone. Never again. We're surviving together, never alone. Merch is something in 2025 that will be coming. My goal is by the end of spring, May, June. So by at least like the first half, so within the first 6 months, that is my goal. Just not sure how, where, what, but we've got a lot of designs that we're batting around. If you guys have any ideas, please shoot me an email, survivingtogether, sass@gmail.com, or throw it in the comments. Love to hear your ideas. If there's things that you want, things that you would buy, things that you wouldn't buy, like please don't make whatever it is, right? Coffee mugs. Can't stand another coffee mug. No one's ever going to buy another coffee mug. Probably will still have coffee mugs though, because I've got some great ideas. And simple crosswords in the back. Yes, body illusion of the TV guide. And my mom always did it before anybody else got a chance to do it. I was too young to know most of it anyway, but it was always entertainment, right? Then they have a picture. Didn't they have a picture of whoever was the main person for that puzzle? And you had to guess their person's name. That was fun. All right, I'm just making sure that I've caught up on. Yeah, Crystal, this is perfect. And 2025 is a new year of new beginnings, new place, hopefully new diagnosis, new ways to live with the said diagnosis. I mean, I'm so excited for you. You've got, you're on the cusp of a lot of things, and hopefully, getting out of the old and into a new place, just that, totally new surroundings and being able to do whatever you want with it, make it your own. Make the bedroom your office, switch it all around, do whatever you want to do. It's going to be your place. And that is absolutely fabulous. Okay, so Misha has put up if they have any questions in regards to the village or what we're doing, what the goal is, anything of that nature. You can reach her at themamarocks@gmail.com. Or there is a phone line that she has put up, 347-4-VOICE, VOICE 2. And there are the numbers that correspond with those letters. So there we go. You still have TV guides, Mock? You said we have traveling and cooking stuff in our TV guide, meaning like, do you guys still have one that gets published and you get? That'd be amazing. My mom would actually love that because she loves having stuff like that to go, physical. We're very much, my mom and I are book people, and I love nothing more. I will read online, especially like with having Kindle Unlimited. It's, so much cheaper just to be able to basically check out a book and read it and then be able to give it back that way. And the library, same thing, but I love having an actual book in my hand to go through and the pages, especially old books. There's just something, the smell of an old book, old wood, nostalgia that way. I love old books. The older, the better. I have a dream of being able to have an office with one wall that is nothing but shelves and being able to fill it with the books that I want. Germany is still pretty analog? Really? They seem so progressive in so many areas. They are progressive in so many areas. I'm really surprised. You're actually getting a 2-bedroom place, Crystal. Oh, that is so exciting. So you'll be able to do whatever you want with all the, oh my gosh, that is just, wow. Library smell is the best. Old library smell, isn't it, Janet? I love it. That's why we're, sisters from another mister. All right, what else anything else that I wanted to go over? Just basic here. So nope. So we've got our live scheduled through the January 4th, which is the first Saturday of the month. David's going to be on with me. He doesn't know it yet. If he's watching, he does now. Hi, you're going to be on with me. Maybe we'll see if his mom's in the background, if we can kind of pull her in. Mock says fax machines were used during COVID in public offices. Wow. And Deaudrey says Ireland still uses snail mail for a shocking amount of stuff. Cromel, I'm so jealous. Oh, I want a picture. I want a picture sent. You can email me. I'd love to see what you have. Mock, I'm here with you. I want a giant hidden library in my house. I don't care if the library is hidden. I think a giant library, but then like off the library, definitely have one of the bookcases, be able to swing open and have, I don't know, even if it's just an access to, the wine cellar down below or whatever, it is, just something down below or to the next room or just another small room. I don't know. Yeah, something hidden. Definitely. I'd love to have secret passages and things like that. It'd be so much fun. Oh my gosh, that'd be so much fun. Mustang Mike, driving but listening, no problem. A lot of it's I don't care. I just want to see the room. I'm just interested to see kind of like, what you have, your setup there. That's it. So Mike, listen away, lurk with us. What are we going to talk about next? Let's see. Pretty much got that stuff done. So what makes you happy? What makes you happy during the holiday season? Is there anything that just will lift your spirits, no matter the time of year? Hey, Bobo, how are you doing tonight? Happy holidays to you. Wonderful new year. We're definitely looking forward to that. I tell you what makes me happy, desserts. I love sweets. I know. I love sweets. And Deaudrey R6 Christmas lights. Yes. Does anybody else have in their area a place or a neighborhood where there is just incredible Christmas lights to view? I know we have a neighborhood out by my parents that it's definitely a keeping up with the Joneses, and one tries to outdo the other. I don't know how anybody sleeps. They must all have like double blackout windows, because we were talking huge houses, like $500,000 houses type thing, $200,000 houses with lights everywhere and reindeer on the roof and, inflatables in the front yard and just incredible stuff, right? And I love looking at it. It is fun. I remember as a kid, we used to drive, if we were in Chicago, we would go to Arlington Heights, which is where my uncle lived. That's a suburb of Chicago, and just drive through and look at all of these huge houses just lit up with lights. And take you an hour to go through it. And just, as a kid, there's just that sparkle wonder, just amazing. Christmas pudding. Well, there's something called bread pudding. Again, I'm not as versed on Christmas stuff, but there is something called bread pudding. And I don't know if that's Christmas pudding, so I'm not sure what's in your Christmas pudding. So you guys have to let me know. Carmel says a good book and a glass of wine. That definitely would make me happy. That's kind of an all year go to. Give me a book and either a glass of wine or, just some water out on my deck, or definitely would be happy. And Mock says there's an Austrian cookie. I'm going to put this up because I'm not going to get it. Vanilla Kipperful. Vanilla Kipperful? How badly did I make that? What is in it? I'm guessing it's kind of vanilla-y by the front part of it, but I wonder what else is in it. I know I've been hearing about these okay, my Italians, what's this fig cookie you guys have been talking about? Thindu, you had it up. You ate a whole bunch of them yesterday. The cucciadata or something like that. This is an Italian cookie, Christmas cookie, I guess. Georgie says Christmas pudding is full of fruits, spices, and various types of booze. Very rich. Bread pudding can be like that. So I don't know if it's quite the same, but that does actually sound yummy. Mark says, we have one house in the neighborhood with a snowman decoration. Because it's windy, we like to joke that you're up into he had a rough evening at the Christmas market. Oh my gosh. I saw the funniest thing. It was about people parking in not good spots, right? Taking up 2 spots, whatever. Well, this person parked where they definitely shouldn't, but parked on basically on a snowbank. And somebody took out all the snow underneath except for like a little center portion holding up the car. So it was basically just balanced on the center portion of snow. I can't even imagine. Oh, ooh, yum. Janice says for Norwegians, there's a lefse, a soft potato flatbread eaten with butter and a sprinkle of sugar. That sounds yummy because it sounds just like elephant ears. And I absolutely love elephant ears. Cuccidata. Cuccidati. Am I getting kind of right? So that's the fig cookie that I apparently need to try. And Mock's cookie has vanilla, sugar, lemon zest, but ooh, yeah, that sounds really good. Yum, yum, yum. I'm there with you. That's sounding extremely, extremely good. Bobo says Diker Heights in Brooklyn is the place to see Christmas house decorations. They even have their own tour buses. Whoa, that's amazing. Can you imagine moving to the community and like not knowing about this whole Christmas thing, like how big people are into it, and you move in and you're like atheists or whatever, and you don't care about it, or you know, Jehovah's Witness, so they don't celebrate holidays. They're just like all these Christmas lights, and then this like one house is just dark. And then goes on the other thing. Ooh, Norwegian meatballs. Yes. I can say yum only because I've had IKEA meatballs, which Swedish meatballs there. Yum. Yum, 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 yum. Staffoli is another more common fried, never baked. Sounds yummy too. Well, yes, these cuccidati, this Italian thing, is said that they're almost like a fig Newton, but way better. And that's kind of what they look like as well. But homemade, of course, so they look yummy. Do they ever put like the fig stuff? Do they put like brandy or liqueur or something like that in it as well? Because that sounds like yummy. Barb is talking about using brandy or orange liqueur in the cookies that her mom used to make. Yum. So I don't have any Christmas type thing that we make, except for my mom does make 7-layer cookies every year. And if you've never had 7-layer cookies, don't get a big one, just like a little small. they're bars basically. You make them into like a 9 by 13 pan, and then you just cut them. And it's graham crackers, condensed milk, butterscotch chips, chocolate chips, peanut butter chips, I think, coconut's the top, and I think there's a few more things in there. I can't quite remember, but they will get hard if you leave them out, or if they're put in the fridge. So I recommend putting in the microwave for like 5 seconds. I mean, not much, just enough to soften them so you don't break your teeth when you're trying to eat them and get through the layers. But because they were always so hard, like the day after, they are commonly and fondly known as rocks in my house. So my mom makes rocks every year. It was actually my brother and his friends nicknamed them that, and they are yummy. Ooh, cardamom cookies. Yum. They look like little ice cream cones. That sounds good. A meat torch. I'm going to guess this is kind of a tortilla to go with Christmas turkey dinner as a Canadian French tradition. Interesting. What is in this? That sounds potentially yummy. I don't know what's in it, so I won't say anything else. Oh, Janet's with you because she's a fellow Canadian, so you got to tell me what's in this thing. I don't decorate much for the holidays either, Misha, anymore. And, my parents have a hard time with it because they're, it's getting harder to move around. They don't have a real Christmas tree anymore, which is amazing because we always had a real Christmas tree going up. Always. I think until maybe the last couple of years, they still got a real Christmas tree. Ooh, I'd love it. Oh, it's a meat pie made with mincemeats. Yum. Yeah, we don't have anything like other than rocks, Rice Krispie treats, that kind of thing. I think the rocks are the biggest Christmas type tradition that comes to mind. Being Jewish, we didn't have very many of them. But certain things we did just because it was always a holiday we had off, right? We always knew we were going to have it off. We didn't know if we were going to, if any of Hanukkah would ever, overlap with our winter break. So we knew that so mom always made sure, and she loves Christmas lights and the Christmas tree. She had one because her mom liked it. She was a Methodist before she converted to Judaism. So got to have Rice Krispies, Barb says. If not, you are missing. Yes. Especially Rice Krispies with something in it. I mean, plain Rice Krispies are okay, but yum. When you can get like M&Ms in them or, even just nuts or anything in it, I love it. Crystal M says she's making whipped shortbread cookies. Oh, yum. I love shortbread. And whipped just sounds like whipped cream. And you definitely got me. And then crab apple cider. Crab apple juice, cinnamon, and cloves. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. That sounds awesome as well. I love cider. So, even if it's, real hard cider, I love that. Mock says warm potato salad. That is more of a German thing, right? Warm. Polish too is serving your potato salad warm versus cold. And definitely a difference between Polish and German in terms of whether it's like more savory or more sweet. Or that's the kraut, not the potato salad. But it can be the potato salad as well, I found out. Yes, Janet has been working on a recipe book and that a ton of people have been putting stuff into. And apparently she has seen these recipes and she is giving Mock's recipes a very big thumbs up. So that's awesome. Gianni, have fun. Thank you so much for stopping by. I appreciate it. Have a great time at your Christmas party and get home safe. Okay. That's the most important thing. Get an Uber if you think you can't drive. Seriously. Even if it's because of the weather, please, 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 please be safe. Oh, Barb, best idea ever. If we all live close, can you imagine the Christmas potluck dinner we could have? Oh my gosh, yes. See, this is why teleportation needs to be a thing. Beam me up, Scotty. You just, that would just be awesome. So awesome. You just got to hope all your particles get put back in the right order. Or maybe they get put back in the right order because they're wrong order here. That would be weird. Okay, that's a conversation for another time. Totally different conversation. Okay, and here Misha has put up a link to some melty goodness, something of her tradition. I don't know what this is, but it is something that something yummy that she likes. Rick, hey, how you doing? Long time no see. I know you've been hanging around, just haven't seen you. Welcome. So glad to see you tonight. I hope all is doing well for you. What else do we have? Well, I have put a couple of links in the description that you will see today. One is for 2-ingredient desserts. So there's several. These are, the most basic of the basic that you can get. So for someone who doesn't bake like me, and I don't have, holiday Christmas cookies or traditions like that I do, to me, these are a great alternative. 2 ingredients. She has one where she makes lemon bars, and you get lemon cream pie filling, and get one of those big cans. I think it's like 32 ounces. Dump it in with a box of either angel food or vanilla cake mix. Mix it together, bake it, poof, lemon bars. Now, you could do the same thing in like a pie crust, or take a pie crust and fold it out, spread it out into like a 9x13 pan or something like that, and have a base layer that way for it. That would be really good. She also made a pumpkin bread with pumpkin puree, like pumpkin pie filling, and spice cake. So cake mix that's just the spiced brand. So it's got cinnamon and things like that in it. Mix those two together, put them in a bread pan, bake it, boom. And you could put pecans in it. You could put chocolate chips in it. You could put carrots in it. There's, the additions are endless with most of these recipes that she has. I think she's got like 5 of them in there. And then the other one that looked really good was taking a pint of ice cream. She used vanilla ice cream, and mixing that with, again, a cake batter. She used, I think she used angel food again, just because it's light and it's less calories than a regular traditional cake mix. But I think you could use any cake mix. I think you could use any ice cream. She just chose to use vanilla. I'm imagining using something like Ben & Jerry's Caramel Sutra or something like that, where you just, you got caramel and things and you're mixing it in, and that's mixed in then. And I don't know how well it'd turn out if you got stuff like that in it. You might have to bake it a little longer or whatever, but that sounds really, really yummy to me. So I'm thinking about making a few of these things with my son and his girlfriend this weekend when they're here, and we're going to try and decorate the tree a little bit. We have this baby tree, and put our Hanukkah stuff out. That's a good question, Rick. You know, there's probably some engineering that goes into this and definitely some planning, right? Because start the night with some skinny chimneys that he eats his cookies as he goes along. That belt's got to get loosened, I would imagine, a few, notches by the end, and make sure to go through those. Or the people who don't have chimneys, just popping through their front doors, right? That would be awesome. Oh my gosh, Crystal Phoenix. Yay, 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 yay. Let's do some applause for her. Awesome. She just got a bronze level President's Volunteer Service Award. If you guys don't know, and Crystal, please put up your channel. Crystal does a lot of work with survivors, in particular domestic violence survivors, but also sexual assault survivors. And she seems to always be on a panel of some sort. She is always working a project, and she's very deserving of this. So that is just incredible and awesome for her. Mox says baking, see, this is my problem. Baking is very much about the consistency of the dough and the baking time. My problem is the dough. Anytime I have to knead something or put flour or roll it out or do anything like that, I can do cookies as long as I can just, mix everything together, then do the dollop thing, on. I don't do the roll out and then the cut or anything like that. So, breads that you have to knead and roll and that kind of thing, no. I can do like zucchini bread and banana bread. I've done those because you just mix them in, put them in the pan and bake them, and I'm good. But yeah, if you got to roll it, if it's actual dough, no, never made a biscuit in my life that ever turned out. Nah, don't bake the own bread. It just don't happen. Maybe eventually if I had somebody and who knew what they were doing and could help me that way, and I was right there, or I just decided I had time and the money on my hands, right? I threw myself into it and just practice. I could do that. As long as I didn't have, other obligations that I was worried about, having to work, support myself. Let's see what else. Flick, you are hearing talk of sweet treats. You'll have to definitely, if you haven't been listening up until now, you'll have to go back. We have been talking about some yummy stuff. Those two ingredient, I did, that's in the link. And then there's also, it's called 53 ingredient recipes. And basically, I put this one up, I linked it just so if you think you need something easy, right? And it's just you, or maybe you do have a boatload of people to feed, and you don't want to spend 18 hours putting everything together. These recipes are all across the board. They're, pancakes with like flour, a pinch of salt, and a banana and some baking powder, I think it was. Blend that all together and you got pancakes. And the sweeter the bananas, the sweeter your pancakes. So you don't actually add extra sugar beyond the bananas. So this I want to try, because I imagine taking like your bananas that you would make banana bread out of, and you could just make pancakes instead. So yum. Oh, great. Crystal threw up her thing and Nisha threw it up as well. Flick says, yeah, I don't cook. That is why, you're with me. I just don't. And so that he had a teriyaki thing that it was honey, soy sauce, and one other thing, and the chicken, and cook it all down for like 15 minutes. And there you've got coated, sticky honey teriyaki chicken, and it looked absolutely wonderful. So I would check that out just for some ideas. They're all across the board. They're easy recipes, obviously, that you could double or triple with no problem. So I included that for any of you guys who might need some extra ideas in regards to food. Okay. Oh, that's got to be rough. Yeah, definitely. Crystal M says, I'm looking forward to my new place, hoping to do more baking and canning again because her stove where she is become too unreliable. Yeah, definitely want to wait on that. Oh, you mentioned this. So Crystal Phoenix says peanut butter drop cookies. It's peanut butter, 1 egg, and sugar. And do you bake these? I'm assuming because you have raw egg. And Mox says that bananas can replace eggs really well. Caramel syrup or coffee replaces milk, and oil replaces butter if you have to do vegan. Interesting. I was watching some videos and they were talking about like depression era foods and things that, you know, taking a little and making a lot out of it. And coffee, using coffee in recipes, using the coffee grounds actually in some of these recipes, and how they did that was very interesting to give it a depth of flavor that you otherwise wouldn't have. And it's not like it had coffee flavor, it just gave it a different, you know, different oomph, different base to that. Okay, Crystal says, yep, bake at 350 for 15. That's awesome. Yum. He says, you're getting hungry. I know, me too. I just have temporarily given up baking because our current oven has a personality disorder. Does it just go hot and cold? Mox's coffee actually makes brownies better. Now that's an interesting one, and I can see that, right? I can definitely see that. Yum. Ooh, that is good too. Huh. Well, part of it, Flix, could be because a cup of dry and a cup of wet are slightly different measurements. I'd have to go look on my actual measuring things to know. But they're different. That's why you can't use a measuring cup, you know, just a regular cup, one size cup measuring cup for like if you need a cup of water, because it's not the same. So that might be the difference that you're getting in terms of switching cup to gram. So that's what I would watch out if you looked for it. Crystal M, Canadian, I'm going to trust grams are a weight, not a measurement. Cups translates to milliliters. When you are talking about the liquids, yes. But when you are talking about dry goods, the flour, the baking powder, the sugar, all of that, that is converted into grams. I know, us Mexicans, us Americans just have to be incredibly complicated, right? We can't. And when I found that, I was like, what do you mean this cup doesn't equal that cup? It says 1 cup, and I have a cup. Why do I have to use this cup for liquids and this cup for dry? This is kind of ridiculous. Crystal Phoenix says, I go by pinch and eyeball measurements. You know, I've started to do that with some of the things that I do know. And anytime I'm making either gravies or stews or, anything of that nature, it's definitely along those lines. Baking, however, again, because I do not do it very often, I don't consider myself a good one, definitely going to go with the instructions every time. Crystal says no, even for measuring dry, it's cup to milliliters. Huh. No clue. Absolutely no clue. Baking is a chemistry class. If there was never a truer statement said, yes, Janet, absolutely. And if you have anything to add to this whole milliliters and grams thing, feel free, throw it all in. Let me know. ALV, hey, good to see you. How are things going tonight? How's the fam? Did I miss anybody else? Maureen, hi, how are you? And you said hi to Paul, and I'm not sure who Paul is. This is going to be like a repeat of last night on Stiggs's show. Janet and I were in there, and Shannon generally comes in as well. And so it got a little confusing with Sharon, Mac, and Shannon names, and Janet, because she's Carry On, being thrown all around, and newer to the place. People didn't recognize us. So we were just, it is, baking and cooking is a science. And has anybody ever watched Alton Brown? And I forget, what was was it food science or cooking something or other? But he breaks it down, and he does a lot of food science work and explains why when you're cooking at a lower temperature, if you cook it for X amount, like a pot roast, you cook it for X amount of hours, how you go from the meat being firm to fall apart. Like what happens, what has to happen, where do you get to get over that hump? And actually knowing some of that stuff has been very helpful for me in going, okay, this is not ready yet. And I know why. It needs to cook longer. The fat needs to break down more so that it can, fall apart on its own. So that definitely has helped me. Georgie says it's all the measurements that helps to get a digital scale. Good Eats, yes, that was definitely one of them. He had several of them, but Good Eats was definitely the name of one of Alton Brown's shows on Food Network. Remember when that was all popular? I have no idea if it's still on because I don't watch TV anymore. So you guys will have to let me know. ALV says he always liked baking more than cooking. Most people say the opposite. And that's true. But I do find people tend to gravitate towards one or the other. They find that they'll say that they're better bakers than cookers, or I can cook anything on the stovetop, just don't ask me to bake anything in the oven. Crystal said her middle brother made the best bread because he could take his aggravation out of the dough. Oh. Misha. She's got a secret. A friend's owned a bakery and tipped her. She can make legendary cakes now. Yum. Yum, yum, yum. I will say, the guy who puts out the 50 easiest 3 ingredients, he actually has another video that it's like 100 restaurant hacks, because this guy didn't go to culinary school. He just learned in restaurants. Everything that he does, it's work-based experience. It's stuff that he has learned to do over the years. So it's really interesting. I mean, these cheats and these cuts and adding this instead of that, and adding whatever at the end, or cutting things this way. Like, how do you cut 100 cherry tomatoes even all at the same time? And you put them between these 2 plates, and then take like a big bread knife and kind of go like this, and you're able to cut them all. I mean, just weird things, I did not link it, but you could definitely check out his channel and the other things that he bakes along there. Carrie On says that Sally's Baking Addiction is her favorite website. And she has made some yummy stuff coming out of that, I tell you. Box of cake mix, a box of pudding mix. The normal ingredients is the box has, like a cup of milk or whatever it says, 8 ounces of sour cream, mix them together and put it in the oven, the most moist cake ever. I can see that. That sounds yummy. I have been watching some of these people too, where they've been, and they're saying, I learned this from an Italian family. So you Italians, you tell me, is this something that you guys do? Way to cook pasta. They put like a block of cream cheese in the center, or a whole stack of something, some kind of cheese in the center of like a 9x13 pan. Put the pasta all around it, and then add whatever else you're going to do, your sauce or your liquid, or, whatever it is, and then bake it. And then when it's done, you mix it all up instead of trying to grate the whole thing of cheese ahead of time, I guess. But they did I've seen a mac and cheese that way. They had the cream cheese, so they did like an Alfredo sauce that they poured over, and then put some other cheese on top as well, and some chicken, and then mix that all up at the end. Let me know. Have any of you who are Italian in here, have you made this way, or is this just somebody figured out a neat hack and just saying, I learned this from an Italian family, because it makes a nice thing. I want to try lemon first and then vanilla. I'm not sure which one you're referring to. The cakes, because that definitely would be a lemon cake and a vanilla. See, my son loves vanilla. He's not a big sweets person, so kind of the plainer the better. Sugar cookies, vanilla cupcakes, vanilla cake. He's just kind of a base. ALV says, if you want to learn authentic Italian cooking, check out the channel Cooking Italian with Joe. Amazing recipes and instructions. Ooh, yum. That sounds wonderful. Awesome. Thank you so much. Oh, you're talking about in the restaurant. And you're giving me a heart attack. When you made mayonnaise, you started with 90 egg yolks. Yes, to make mayonnaise from scratch. And if you were making it for the restaurant, I can definitely see using 90. What are you doing? See, and this is why I love it, but me and pasta, I absolutely love, and I could definitely eat too much pasta and bread. I could live on carbs. I did live on carbs, and that's why I gained 30 pounds over the past 12 months. 2024, I gained a little bit of weight, some of my weight back, and I want to end it again. But I'm definitely the 1 or 2 pot person. I hate having a ton of dishes left over in the end. I hate having to put things in and take them out and then cook other things and then put that back in. And no, I just throw it all in, let it cook. And I finally saw somebody make Italian wedding soup with pastini. I'd never actually heard of pastini before. I know what it is. I've seen it. And so, yes, but this isn't anything that, I didn't grow up with doing that. And so I didn't know that they had numbers, and that was the size correlation. Find out so much. I've learned so much interesting stuff with all of you guys. Fundraiser. Got to go to the store, going to a fundraiser for the homeless tonight. Oh, awesome. Rick, that is just great. I don't have it, and I don't know if anybody in here has it. think I saved it on my other tab. I have two computers going at the same time. I can only access one at a time. So I have the one that I'm with you guys on. And there's somebody who's a part of the community, part of Stiggs's community, who has a GoFundMe going. Her name is Joy Ferrucci, and her brother, Alan Kaiser, was killed when he was 16 years old. He was murdered by Sammy Gravano, I do believe, and he was never even charged with the crime. So they're trying to they've started a GoFundMe, and they're trying to raise money to be able to hire a lawyer to hopefully, there's never, murder does not have a statute of limitations. So it doesn't matter how old the case is, you can always bring a murder charge. So they're trying to get somebody to look at it and be able to hopefully bring some justice. So it's Justice for Alan Kaiser, Kaiser. So if you look for that on GoFundMe, I'm sure that you will find it. And as soon as I get the GoFundMe link back again, like I said, I've got it on another tab, I think. I will share it in a community post so that it's there. But I wanted to let you guys know about that. And I will try to remember on each of my lives to be mentioning it, because it's definitely a worthy cause. If you guys are interested, if you can, donate it all. Todd Father, driving into work. Oh my goodness. That's why you are up at the crack of dawn. You stay awake all day. I did not know that. Welcome. Thanks for stopping in. I don't know what you do for work, but be safe. Be safe overnight. Okay, so some of us were talking earlier, and we also had yes, I believe this is the statute of limitations for the civil suit would have passed. But I'm sure that they are trying to get a lawyer and probably to get as much evidence together as they can to be able to present to the office. I don't know where this is in New Jersey. So present to the prosecutor's office and say, hey, that was my understanding. So money for the lawyer. Oh, yum. Sorry, I was talking about. Todd Father says, according to Tommy Sticks, I sort lettuce all night long. Okay. I don't know how you do that, but whatever. It's in New York City. Okay. So yeah, they'd have to present it to the New York prosecutor. And I guess it depends on what their appetite is for taking down another mobster. And, what kind of evidence that they would be, presented with, what was looked over. So I'm sure that they want all the police files and probably, re-interview people who were original police officers and everything as well. My best guess. Hi, Sven. How are you doing? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Another one from across the pond. We have been talking about different Christmas stuff in different places, mainly food, because we've been talking about what puts a smile on your face. What can get you jolly during the holidays that when you're otherwise not? And it seems that food is definitely a go-to. We were talking, though, about Christmas movies, or just movies in general, a funny movie. So nothing serious, because we're talking about putting a smile on your face. But I suppose if there's like, a White Christmas or a Christmas Carol or something that is a good memory for you, that might be, even though it's not a funny movie, that might be a movie that you would watch that would put a smile on your face. Christmas Vacation, Chevy Chase, right? This is a famous one. Funny movie that people watch. Die Hard, but it's not really a funny movie. But anybody else have any funny movies that they would be their go-to to put a smile on your face? Doesn't have to be Christmas themed. Just what's a funny movie that would put a smile on your face? Princess Bride, definitely, always, always, always put a smile on my face. It's iconic. How could you not like the Princess Bride? I don't even know quite all of the words. I mean, I know there's people who can do the entire dialogue. They watched it so many times, but I do just love it. Yes, Misha, it is for Joy Out of New York. That is what that GoFundMe is for. Warehouse supervisor. Okay, got it. And you're in Buffalo. That makes sense because you and Theme do it. I follow. I'm slowly getting, where planes, trades, and automobiles. That was fun. Elf. Yeah. Elf and the Grinch Who Stole Christmas. Definitely. Bad Santa. Okay. Yeah. Police Academy. All 7 of them, Crystal says. They did just get more ridiculous and more ridiculous, didn't they? That's hilarious. Spence's Christmas food in Denmark is pork roast with cracklings, duck, goose, turkey. Okay, here we go. Great. Thank you, Misha. Misha did a little digging, and here it is. Here's the GoFundMe for Joy. I think the rest of it, it's Justice for Alan Kaiser is just the rest of the part that I don't know if that got cut off or not, or if you don't need the rest of it, but here is the link. And again, I will definitely make sure that I have that and put that in mine. Actually, Thindu made a short, and I may just repost his short because it's got all the information as well as kind of explaining why they are doing it. You're not behind. Not behind at all. No. Scrooged, yeah. Scrooge was a pretty good one. Oh, Crystal says cracklings, yum. I think this is one of those things that you had to have had them from when you were young. My grandmother loved them. Us kids, grandkids never really got into it. My mom either. My dad, yes. Babes in Toyland. Wow, there is a movie I haven't heard of in a while. Babes in Toyland. Okay. All right. I haven't watched movies in so long. I'm even trying to think. The Goonies, right? Those things from the 80s that made me happy, right? Pretty much anything by John Hughes. Stupid fun. 16 Candles. I'm not as big of a Breakfast Club fan as I think most people are, or a lot of people are. St. Elmo's Fire. I wasn't really into those. I mean, it's a good movie, but Home Alone, the first one, right? I'm sorry, I will only do the first one. The first Home Alone. The original is just always the Cry Baby, really? With Johnny Depp? Okay. Oh, you rendered your own lard. You made them in your own lard, yeah. Supposedly cooking with lard is actually healthier for you, from what I heard. You liked Home Alone 2 as well, Crystal? Yeah, it wasn't my favorite. Home Alone is considered the most popular Christmas movie of all time. You think, ALV? That very well could be. Now, Janet sent me a link for is it just a series? I don't know if you're going to have more than, if it's a set amount of shows or what, but it's called The Sticky. It's out of Canada, but you can find it on Amazon Prime. And it is basically a takeoff on the Great Canadian maple syrup heist. If you guys don't know, and I had to look it up because I wasn't sure about my dates and stuff. So it was 2012. There was a very complex group of people, a very complex organization that stole from Quebec, from the Federal Quebec Reserve, Maple Syrup Reserve, 6,000 gallons of maple syrup, or 3,000. Wait a minute. I think it was 3,000. 3,000 tons. I am sorry. It was 3,000 tons of maple syrup. They recovered just over half. So it was valued at around 18 million Canadian at the time, 15 million Canadian, or 15 million US at the time. In 2017, several people were arrested for it, but not everybody. But yeah, there was a considerable black market for the maple syrup. Unbelievable. I was shocked when I heard this. I was like, you got to be kidding me. This is not a real thing. But no, it was. Can you imagine 3,000 tons? A ton is 2,000 pounds. So that's 6,000 pounds of maple syrup that they stole. This is Oh, Jess says, can you imagine the other inmates asking, what are you in for? What do your papers say? I stole maple syrup. No, maple syrup, it's very serious business. From the outside looking in, we laugh about it. And actually, Michigan, where I'm from, makes a decent amount of maple syrup. I didn't know this, but a lot of the northern states in the US do. ALV says 1952 Christmas Carol, the Dickens version, his favorite. 1951. Okay, so the original one is his favorite. Janet's going to start watching The Sticky. I guess she said it's trending number 3 in Canada right now. So obviously a lot of people like it. Max says lard makes schnitzel, so it can't be too bad. Absolutely, absolutely. People used to use lard, and then they switched to Crisco because it was, that's supposed to be the healthy alternative. And then they found out that caused certain cancers. So people, I think, back to using lard. You're kidding. This November? Like last month? Barb says that here in Ontario, we had butter thieves. So much butter was stolen that stores said they might have to up their price. Wow. Wow, wow, wow. That's amazing. Well, things are going up. I will say probably White Christmas, the Christmas album, White Christmas, that has like all the crooners on it. That's probably one of my favorites. In terms of songs. I mean, right? If you're going to steal something, you definitely got to have refrigeration for that stuff. That's going to go rancid like that. So I don't know. Maybe they're making the sugar cookies and they needed extra. Global News even covered it. Wow. See, it tells you how up I'm pretty much on a news. Unless something happens to cross my path, like it did with with Moxie, like the German government imploding or something like that. I generally don't know what's going on. I'm sure there's a lot of people who have died over the years that I don't know about because I haven't been watching. Did he need a replacement with baby oil, hot butter? Oh, yeah. You're right, Mark. It's excess of anything, right? It's so if we and that's why they're talking about people who want to try and do like the carnivore diet, or keto or anything where you're like cutting out carbs completely or nearly completely isn't as great for you. You do need to have some of those carbs, just the right kind of carbs, right? Can't eat white pasta every day. Make for a slick getaway with the butter. Nice. The only thing I have to add to is I will add a book, and because it's got recipes in it as well. It is called The Sweet Potato Queens, the Book of Love. That's number one. There's 3 of them to my knowledge. Maybe she's made more since I stopped reading. But it is the funniest book I have ever read beyond, say, something by Dave Barry, somebody who's an actual humorist. She talks about these sweet potato queens. Literally, it's the Sweet Potato Queen Festival, and it's all these people who are sweet potato queens, and they have the spud studs who are their support, and those are guys, and the wannabes who want to be a queen, but aren't. It's hilarious, but there's a lot of great recipes in there too. Comfort food, no bake options. I did the French loaf bread, cut the whole thing in slices, almost all the way, but not all the way through. Putting garlic butter on each side, inside as you go, and then put a slice of mozzarella cheese in each of them, and then put it in tin foil and bake it for like 15 minutes. I made this one time. I left to go to the bathroom, and I came back and it was gone. I never even got a piece. So I made another one just for myself, not for the party, right? And it was good. It was good. Dave Barry with an A, Barry, is a humorist who's, I don't know, is he passed by now? Or he's got to be in his 70s, I would think, maybe. Or is he? Yeah, he's older than I am. 60s, 70s. Yeah, he used to write a column. He had a column, I think, in Florida. Gosh, if Shannon was here, she'd be able to tell me. One of the newspapers had a weekly column. Okay, pull apart bread. Yes, exactly. Pull apart bread. Oh, I'm sorry, Misha. Oh, thank you for being here, though. Thank you for wrenching for us for a while. I really appreciate it, and I will definitely be in touch because I know we've got some things to finish up as well. But yes, pull apart bread, monkey bread, pull apart bread. That sweet version. Oh my gosh. And did I find the recipe of where you just use biscuits, like in the can, and you cut them in like fourths, and then just stick all those together and pour the cinnamon, sugar, butter mixture over it, and then bake it. Oh, yum. Monkey bread is probably one of my favorite things. If there's something sweet to eat, yum. Krumel says I gotta go. BRB. BRB, need some food. Yes, I'm definitely going to be going in that direction. I think after we're done here. You've never heard of monkey bread? Oh my gosh. It's basically it's just butter, cinnamon, sugar. Pour it over a bread mixture. You pull little pieces apart, and it's just the cinnamon gooey yumminess that is. I could eat the entire thing and shove it in my mouth. Crystal says I need that recipe, please. Baby Ruth turnovers. Oh, see now you're baking candy and you're speaking my language. Oh, yeah. I don't make it at all. My brother actually, they did away with home ec by the time I got there. He had home ec though. And I always remember this. They had these where you grab a biscuit, you roll it out, just into it like a tube, and then tie it in a knot and put it in a muffin tin, and then pour cinnamon, sugar, butter mixture over it and bake it for the allotted time for the biscuits. And you would have individual ones, this individual caramely, gooey yumminess. I haven't made those in a long time. That's something incredibly simple. You don't even need to, obviously, you don't need to do anything to the tin ahead of time because you're pouring this butter mixture all over it. Exactly. Barb, this is the precise reason why I do not make monkey bread. And if somebody has it, I try and stay away from it because I will take the whole darn thing. It is so yummy. Aw, this cookie is mocking you? Yeah, I mean, it is like kind of like a Cinnabon. It just, unless you choose to put like powdered sugar mixture, the white to make the white frosting, powdered sugar and water, basically, just make a glaze. You can put that on top of it as well after it comes out. Put a little bit of that over it, and you can do that with the monkey bread too. It's just even yummier. But I did link that book in the description. It's by Jill Connor-Browne. It is funnier than all get out. I could not put it down. I laughed my butt off. It probably only took me a couple hours to get through. It's not a real thick book. And if you get the paperback, I think it's got some pretty decent sized letters in it. And I guarantee you, you'll laugh. And if nothing else, you will have some great recipes and some good chocolate ones that are no bake that, anything that's no bake is good with me because just mix and eat, right? You can't get simpler than that in my book. That is awesome. I meant to try and get a no bake YouTube thing, video to put in there, but I didn't make it. I'll maybe have to find one some other time. Am I missing something with the chat, or have you guys just gone silent? Yep, exactly. Just the Pillsbury rolls. Yep. Just, roll them into a little tube and then tie them in a knot. Or if you're doing the monkey bread, which you can find monkey bread recipes on the internet, just type in monkey bread and I'm sure a gazillion things. There's different ways to make it. You can make it from, scratch with your own dough and everything. But one of the easier ways is just to use this, just canned biscuits and cut them in pieces and then stick them all together. And a lot of times people use a bundt pan just because it's an easy way to get it to all stick together. And then put everything. Janet's assembling eggplant parmesan. So obviously they're going to eat well in the household. The M&Ms taste a lot better now than in years past, or because you can smell again, or not quite following why the M&Ms are tasting better. Does anyone remember when they took the red M&Ms away? Because of the dye? Red dye number 5, right? So they took red dye out of everything. And then you learned it was in bologna and hot dogs and all these things. You're like, why is there dye in this meat product? What time is it? Oh my gosh, it's 7:30 already. Wow. Well, the last thing that I thought of to bring to you today about kind of how to make the holidays a little bit better are some breathing techniques. So if you find yourself starting to panic, or your anxiety is raising, or your stress level in general, oh, you're eating M&Ms. Ugh. Because of all the food talk, the M&Ms taste better that you're eating. I gotcha. I'm following you now. I've got some breathing techniques to give to you. So, even if you don't like have anxiety, if you're stressed, trying to go to bed at night, you can't shut your brain off. Trying to focus with work, and you got so much with the holidays going on. Or your brother-in-law just drives you up a freaking wall, and he said the last dumbest thing that you can stand, and you need to go into the bathroom and collect yourself and regroup. There's many different breathing techniques that you can use. I've chosen 3 to kind of give to you tonight. Most of these probably are familiar to you, but just bringing them to the forefront of your mind again. Barb, I hope to see you on Saturday. We're going to be, it's going to be all Hanukkah talk. We're going to be talking food again, but then just also kind of what makes Hanukkah Hanukkah, and why do we do it? So if you're interested about learning about Hanukkah, or just getting together, connecting with everybody else, join us again Saturday at 3 p.m. Otherwise, have a great evening. So I've chosen box breathing, the 4-7-8 or 4-6-8, kind of depends on you, depends on your breathing and how long you can hold your breath type of thing. And then also what's called the, it has 2 names. The official name is the physiological sigh, or the double inhale is the coined term, the double inhale. So these are the 3 that we're going to go over. So first, box breathing can be done a couple of ways. Just imagine that you have a box, right? And you're going to breathe in for a certain number. You're going to hold for a certain number, and then you're going to exhale for a certain number. Now, some people, when you get to this point, will then hold for a certain number before beginning the whole thing over again. Some people don't do that second hold. That's up to you. Depends on how it feels to you. How long you hold it, again, up to you. A 4 count is good. I tend to do longer because I like taking bigger breaths. Even thinking about it, I got my yawning. And the reason why is whenever you emphasize your exhale, you are calming yourself down. You're lowering your heart rate. Anytime you're emphasizing your inhale, then you are upping your heart rate. So think about any times where you're breathing really fast, right? That gets your heart going. So box breathing, we can just take a count of 4, and I'm just going to do a sample for you. And I can't count and hold at the same time, but it would be an inhale for a count of 4, something like this. So you inhale 1, 2, 3, 4, and then hold 1, 2, 3, 4, and then exhale 1, 2, 3, 4. And then you can take a normal breath and you can start it again. Excuse me. I did not get a lot of sleep last night. Again, I've been plagued with this headache, and it started started during the night last night, so I am definitely tired. So doing this, I can definitely feel myself coming down. I think I'm going to sleep well tonight. So you can take that hold that extra breath, hold again that 4 and continue, or you can just kind of take a normal breath and go through that again. So that's box breathing. I like 4, 7, 8 because I like holding my breath. It tends to calm me down the most. So this is going to be 4 is going to be the inhale, 7 is going to be your hold, and then 8 is going to be your exhale. Anytime you have a greater number on the exhale, you're emphasizing that exhale. And so you're going to be targeting yourself more in terms of calming down. So it would go something like this. Your inhale for 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, hold. And again, it depends on how long you can hold it for. If you can't hold it for a full count of 7, that's okay. Hold it for what you can. And then your exhale is going to be a number greater than your hold number. So if you couldn't hold for 7, that's fine. You might not be able to exhale for a full 8. That's fine. But you want your exhale to at least be a greater number than that hold and a greater number than your inhale. So your exhale, you're going to go. You really want to try to get all of that carbon dioxide out. Get as much of that, oh my goodness, much of that breath out as you possibly can. And getting that carbon dioxide out is what helps to calm us down, and getting that fresh oxygen then back into us. And doing these, you can repeat as many times as you need, but doing at least a repeat of, say, 3 or 5 is a good number to start with. And then kind of take a break, see how you feel. Yeah, Mark, I always have my windows open at night. I don't know if you're talking to me or somebody else, but I always have a window open. It makes my room freezing, which upstairs is generally cold anyway, so I don't mind so much. And then the rest of the house is warm. Well, I'm trying to concentrate a lot then, Crystal. She says yawning is your body's way of helping you concentrate better. Now that I had no idea. I did not know. Okay. It was being a little. You got some European talk. I'm out of that. So then the physiological sigh. This is the double inhale. And I covered this way, way early on in the channel, I remember, because I came across it and I was like, huh. This is what I learned about why the 4, 7, 8 works, because of that greater exhale. And for here, again, it's 2 quick inhale breaths and a long exhale. There's no numbers, there's no counting, nothing you have to do in regards to that. You just want your exhale to be much longer than your inhale. Your inhales, and they need to be quick. And one person who was explaining this said, if you watch, like, say, watch your dog when they've gone to lay down, and you hear that sigh that they have, it'll often be accompanied by this quick double intake and then that long sigh. And that's the way of just totally calming down. And so it's going to be like something like this. It's going to be just exhale as much as you possibly can. And then you can do it again. You can. I inhaled and then got some water down my pipe. Oh, excuse me. So yeah, the physiological sigh, or the double inhale. Again, a real easy, simple way of bringing our sympathetic nervous system, our parasympathetic nervous system back online, and calming ourselves down and getting our vagus nerve working in the right way again. Because remember, it's our nervous system, and that's what we're trying to affect. And that's why these work so well. Oh, Mark, I can't wait to see your recipes. Just from what you guys are talking about, it sounds absolutely wonderful. This is an interesting comment. Kermel says you can eat the European way if you cook yourself. What is eating the European way? What does that mean? What does that mean to you? What does that mean to you, Kermel? Is it just the types of things that you cook? The ways in which they're cooked? All of the above? Yawns are so contagious, aren't they? All you gotta do is mention the word, and I'm yawning. I've been so tired of something. Look at my eyes. I think my eyes have gotten redder as this evening's gone on. I'm getting so tired myself. Holy moly. Whew. There's also, I will do this as well. Some people says it works. Some people say they haven't gotten it to work quite well. And in one of my videos recently, I did this, but you put your finger right inside your ear, not in it, down it, but just inside that opening to where you can get your skin, and you push down and then make circles. And this is supposed to activate your vagus nerve and help calm you down. Now, one person said they did this and they felt immediate relief. And literally emailed me about it and said, "Oh my God, that works." I felt immediate relief. I've done it, and I think it works. I think it works. And so you do that on both sides. Also, I'm trying to turn around so you can see I've got my hair up. So if this is right in the middle of your skull, your occipital bone, you feel over on both sides. You've got kind of an indent, kind of where your skull almost sees like it goes in a curve, right? Right there, if you feel up, you will feel nerves on either side of that. And if you rub those nerves, stimulate those nerves for about 30 seconds, and you need to do that on both sides of your head, that, again, that's activating that vagus nerve. That is your vagus nerve that's running there. I'd say be careful on like how hard and how long you rub that. And the only reason is because I have noticed when I have migraines, I will often rub this area, push and hold. It is a good way of sometimes getting some pressure to release in my head. But I noticed that when I've done it for too long, I have actually caused my scalp to go numb. Like even just doing that just a little bit, I can start feeling the deadening a little bit. And it just, my whole scalp will just be numb. It's the weirdest thing. It only started happening a couple of years ago. I have no idea why, but you've been warned. So if you do it and your scalp is numb the next day and you're brushing your hair and it feels really strange, it does come back. Sometimes it can take a while though. Oh, wow. So Crystal says that she learned about the awning being a concentration thing by reading a book called Conversations with a Rattlesnake by Theo Fleury. It's his second book that he wrote with his therapist, Kim Barthel. She says his books are amazing. Excellent. Well, if you guys are looking for anything to read, I am going to be tackling in the new year. I am going to be reading again The Body Keeps the Score. That's going to be my first one that I'm going to be tackling in terms of trauma. It's a dense book. It's going to take me a while to get through it. I'm sure we'll have many shows that I'll be pulling out of there just because it is a seminal piece of writing that in the trauma genre. Oh, Mark, that is absolutely fabulous. Cooking is a passion of hers. Yeah, and especially if you have food intolerances, making it yourself, you can do it just the way you want to, right? You say, I don't do pepper, I don't like spice, I can't have salt, whatever your restrictions are, right? You can cook just for it. Max is essentially whole foods and farmers quality by American standards and healthier cooking. Okay. No McDonald's. So essentially the way that I want to eat. I rarely go out to eat. I had Culver's which is a hamburger place. I had that for the first time in a long time. I actually had a burger, which was good. Oh, now I know who you're talking about. The hockey player, Theo Fleury. His first book, Playing with Fire. It's about his life, his journey through dealing with sexual assault and healing, and his hockey career. He was one of the first, if not the first, pro hockey player to come out and say that he was a survivor of sexual abuse. And to his credit, the coach that he implicated, several other players ended up coming forward and saying, yeah, the same thing happened to me. And some other players came forward and said that implicated some other people. It just goes to show you, again, it doesn't matter if you're male or female. It doesn't matter if you're in ballet, if you're the shy kid who is just playing with your doll on your front step, or you're a brusque hockey player. It can happen to all of us. Doesn't discriminate. Perpetrators do not discriminate. For as many types as there are out there, you're somebody's type. And that's scary. Yes, you're right. Theo Fleury and yeah, I don't want to say his name and get it wrong, but there was after Fleury came out, his teammate. Was he his teammate, or they had been teammates? About their coach, and I think it was Sheldon Kennedy. Okay, and it was like their junior A coach or something like that. Swear, yeah, absolutely. Swearing can be a part of healing. It's part of, you do it. It's, you're getting aggression out, and and if that's the way you talk, if you're going to do a book in your own words, and if that's the way you talk, that's the way it should read. I'm a firm believer in that, because you're writing this book. Yes, it may help other people, and you're getting the word out that way. But more importantly, it's about you. It's your healing journey. And this is to benefit you. So I don't think that you should censor yourself that way. If this is what you did, and this is the part of your healing journey, and this is how you went about it, then call him a motherfucker. You know? Say it for what it is. But thanks for the warning, yes, because some people are a little sensitive to swearing. Oh, definitely. I was putting up Mock's comment, and you popped up right there. But primal screaming, yeah. I mean, go into a forest or somewhere where you won't bother your neighbor, right? And just scream your heart out. Again, when you scream, why is it making us feel better? Well, one, it's you're screaming, you're using all that energy, and usually it's all that negative type energy, and you're just but you're exhaling. You're exhaling, and you're exhaling long. So you're calming yourself down as you do it. So it's a built-in. So yeah, it can be very, very effective. Just having a place to do it is more difficult for some people. Mock says that especially something like hockey and particularly tough guy sports are easy targets because there's shame built in without the extra work. Because you've got two things there. You've got the shame because you're a guy, and because you're in a tough guy sport. Let's say rugby, American football, hockey. You let that happen to you? Right? We've talked about this with guys. And I did a live on male survivors, and we're going to do more because male survivors and female perpetrators, both of them, they need to be spoken about more. Female survivors, as it is, still have a stigma. It's so much less than it was. So much less. Usually, if it comes up and people don't want to talk about it, it's more of just okay, I just don't know what to do with that information, but I'm still willing to talk to you as a person. It just kind of ends that piece of the conversation. I feel personally much less of a stigma that I felt comfortable coming out at work and said, I have this YouTube channel. We now have a pretty big network. And in January, a small write-up about the channel is going to be in our company newsletter. It's a lot of people who I don't know, because this is more than just my local office. But that's okay. That's okay. I'm comfortable enough with it. The guys and the female perpetrators, particularly female perpetrators on guys, but just female perpetrators in general, aren't spoken about. Less spoken about, and certainly, guys, and the guys are on the rise. And shoot. And I had found, listen, 1in6.org is the American organization for men. And in Canada, it is Men and Families.org, I think. Shoot. Hang on one second, guys. One sec. I've got it linked in the video. I thought I had it in my notes here for this, but I didn't. Yeah, I thought I had it written here. Yeah, it's something like Men and Families. .org is the Canadian one. Cosmic Christie's channel is talking about the whole DV against males. Oh, interesting. Interesting. I do not have her channel handy. Cosmic Christie, for some of you who don't know, she is a member of our community, doing super well right now, which is awesome. Another person who's, had quite the struggle, and she's in Australia. And so sometimes she pops in, occasionally we see her. My times aren't that great for her. If I do a third day a week, I definitely am going to make it a little more friendly for people not in US and Canada. Try and find a time that I can get on. Oh, metal music in the car works well for primal screaming. I can see that. There you go. There you go. I can definitely see that. Oh, maybe next time my son and I are in the car, we'll just scream our hearts out at each other. Yeah, and this is true. This is true. The guys were sworn to secrecy because otherwise they wouldn't be able to make it into the NHL. And so I do believe this was their junior A coach, which I believe is that step just below being able to go into the NHL. And yes, absolutely. And I think the more we talk, the more we educate, and the more we make this real to people, we normalize it, and then they can see it happening. They can see it being a real case. People like Terry Crews, football player and then became, entertainer. He came out and said, I was sexually abused as a child. I think it was 2017, because I was just looking at my notes, that he came out and said, yeah, that's huge. Huge. And then you'd have a few other people from Hollywood say, yeah, me too. And he did it was as part of that Me Too movement, which I can't stand that Amber Heard was the face of that and got it started on something that was a lie, but that it did get the ball rolling. I can at least applaud where it ended up for the most part. A Me Too guys movement would be absolutely wonderful. And I started reading about some that were trying to kind of, push that forward, but it really hasn't caught on, too much in terms of, mass amounts of people coming forward. Now, Mock saying the Catholic boarding school in the area, the Catholic boys boarding school where she went to school had a huge abuse problem. and it got shut down when the investigations came. And so anything that you had, like take the US, because it's all I know about. So you had the lawsuits against the Catholic Church, you had the lawsuits against the Mormons, the Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. So they settled. You had the Boy Scouts of America settled. And then what was the latest one? It was the biggest civil settle. ALV, are you still here? It was the biggest civil settlement. $800 million, I think it was. Shoot, what was the organization? Yeah, and this is the good that came out of Amber Heard coming forward and basically what she had said being shown to be a lie. Now, did Johnny Depp ever strike her? I don't know. I wasn't there in their relationship. They both drank. They both did hard drugs. That came out at the trial. But what also came out at the trial was this issue of domestic violence against men. And it doesn't have to be, beat downs, right? It's just not, beating somebody within an inch of their life or getting necessarily giving them a black eye or something like that. Domestic violence, it encompasses so much more. Crystal Phoenix is going to come on after the new year. We've already spoken to talk about this whole issue with domestic violence. And I'd love to have Cosmic Christie on as well. It sounds like we've got several people that we could possibly pull on to do domestic violence against females, domestic violence against males, so that the female can be an abuser was brought forth in such a way that people were like, Johnny Depp? I mean, this person that we know, who's been in all these films that we know, that we like, and he's getting beat on by this woman, that there's this much gaslighting and manipulation and, I mean, everything that came out of the trial, right? So I'm happy that ended up happening. Yeah, that's the other one that I definitely want to cover. And Jan and I have spoken about this as well. The Indigenous population in Canada. They were forced to go to these residential schools, and they were, basically stripped of their own culture, forced to speak a language that they didn't even understand when they went there. Most of these kids didn't even speak English at the time, and they were hotbeds of all kinds of. I mean, you name the abuse, and it happened there, right? And many kids died. It's kind of like the Dozier School for Boys is a famous boys' school, residential treatment, almost like I think what we would call a troubled teens. It wasn't just for teens, a troubled kids place in the 40s and 50s. And I think even into the 60s a little bit. It was in Florida, and a lot of boys died. A lot of boys died. And I mean, if you didn't go in a criminal, you certainly came out with a hard edge to you. I've listened to the interviews with some of these kids, and it's absolutely heartbreaking. Yeah, and there are some good programs that I've seen, some documentaries that go over this fairly well. I still want to get a hold of that book Janet. Janet's mom's best friend wrote like the book on this issue. Oh yes, definite intergenerational trauma. Oh no, this I didn't know. I mean, I know that there's been abuse of Aborigines and discrimination against them, since the beginning. But I didn't know that they had a similar sort of thing with the Indigenous population, with the kids and whatnot. It's something that I haven't gotten into at all, but that's really interesting. I would definitely want to learn more from that. I wonder if Christy has some more information on that. The Mush Hole by Dr. Elizabeth Graham. So this is like, the book to read if you want to find out about what happened with the Indigenous Canadians and the residential treatment, the residential programs that were set up, the homes, schools that were set up that they were forced to go to. So I definitely would love to read that one day. I might have to just go sit at your mom's and read it over there. I'm cool with that. I'm totally cool with that. Okay, it is 8:15 already. Time flies when you're having fun. The Mush Hole was the first of many books, right? On the subject that came out. I wish I could remember what that. It's gonna bug me. I'm probably gonna do a YouTube short on what that other settlement was, what organization that was. My brain is it's absolutely fried. I can't think. But I did realize I have to go check I don't know if my ID is travelable. I'm not sure if it's the right driver's license for me to be able to fly. So I got to take care of that tomorrow. I got to go down to the Secretary of State's office first thing in the morning and be like, help. I can't get a new passport right now because I can't find my birth certificate. And I have to go to this teeny tiny town in North Carolina to try and get it. But that will definitely be my next step. All right. Well, things took a little bit of a turn here at the end, but for the most part, we talked about a lot of great stuff that hopefully can bring you some joy on the holidays. If some of this food stuff didn't, maybe the conversation will. Oh, Flix, I'm so glad that you got some things done. That's wonderful. Mox says Judith Durham has a version of Advanced Australia Fair with one of the survivors. Interesting. Crystal, I'm not sure why you're saying sorry, but okay. Oh, that would be fun. That would be the way to do Canada, right? In a camper? That definitely going across it. That must have been fabulous, Krumel. 6 months doing that. Wow. That's really cool. Yeah, I think checking into some of this Australia stuff, it's definitely an interesting side jaunt that I want to. I'm still reading I'm still reading a book about pedophiles and the porn industry and kind of how all that got started and how they were all interrelated and how people knew each other and how they found each other. And it's fascinating, sickening, but fascinating to see all the connections. And now that we're seeing, connections with other high profile stories that are coming out. I mean, it's no wonder. Power and corruption, just some people can't handle it. And they just become nasty people, or they're nasty people to begin with. You went in 1980? Wow. Yeah, see, Janice says there's so much wrong with how Australia has treated their Indigenous peoples. And honestly, I know that they have been treated poorly and that they've been discriminated against. And really beyond that, I don't know a whole lot. So I'm really interested in reading about this area. So I'll have to look some things up in that. Trying to get into different areas of the world and stories that have gone on over there, definitely on my radar. This first year has really been about trying to cover as much of a base as possible of just here's what trauma is, here's where you find it, here's how you deal with it. And these are subjects that we'll keep going back into and deep diving into different areas of them and diving into them in different places, like Canada and Australia, different organizations within the US, and just personally, right? Just on an individual level, dealing with trauma, or, what's the latest study that's come out? So try and keep my fingers in a lot of different pots just to stay up. And I'm learning so much. This past year has just been incredible. You guys know, not a therapist, not a counselor. I'm just somebody who's gone through trauma and is going through this healing journey with you. And I could not be happier to have this crew going through it with me. You guys are amazing. The sassy community, SAS community has been awesome. You guys are wonderful and supportive of each other. We're at 300 subscribers. We hit it. Woohoo! I'd love to hit 500 by middle of February. That would be incredible. That would be some serious growth between now and then. But it's possible. So we'll see what happens. The Indigenous people of the Amazon, yeah. I don't know much about abuse in regards to them, other than I just know the policies that have put them on the fringe and all of that kind of stuff. So I would definitely need to get into that more. Janet, you're welcome. Thank you for all you guys do to support and to be here. You guys make it. This Sassy would not, it wouldn't exist. It needs a community, and that's where you guys come in. Surviving together, never alone, right? Never alone again. Every video has my email, survivingtogether, sass@gmail.com. Feel free to email me if you need to talk, need a connection, looking for some information. I'll do what I can to help. Also, my email and oh, I will put up some posts with some of the links that I've spoken of, the GoFundMe and the Village link, and I will also make sure to get that on the thumbnail fairly soon. And I will lock in my times for Christmas, Christmas Eve, if I'm going on as well. I'll put up a thumbnail for that. And whatever I do on Christmas, I will put that on my thumbnail as well, so you guys know when I will be live. It will not be at 6 p.m. because Ben Bacon Bits will be on at 6 p.m. doing something interesting, I'm sure. So you guys can tune into the Village and see whatever he's doing. And he usually has some guests on. And so that should be fairly fun. Thank you all for joining me, trying to find a smile and get some jolly in the holidays when we otherwise may not feel like it. I thank you for being here. Please remember, you are worthy You are valuable and you're loved for who you are, just the way you are. Much love. Mwah. So much. We'll see you guys on Saturday. Take care. Bye.